morning. It's Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, gang, the 27th of May, 2019. Welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom tour, coming to you from Bracknell in Berkshire. Yet another bank holiday. No one does any work in this country anymore. No one does any work. I love my country. No one does any work, though. This is the trouble. She was the only one doing any work. Now she's gone. What hope is there for any of us? God's sake, man. Well, good morning to you. I'm sorry I haven't been with you all weekend. I've had a really busy weekend. I do like being busy. Do you? I can't be doing with sitting around doing nothing. I tried to get a little bit more sleep in on Saturday morning, which meant I got up later. I had loads to do, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But that's where I've just been doing stuff, okay? Not ill, fortunately. So sometimes, who was it who said, you should do a little show just to tell people that you're too busy to do a show, if you see what I mean. I said, well, that means I'll be doing a show then. Look, this roll of, can I just tell you, this roll of sellotape, right? When I lost my dear mother in 2000, I found, I don't know if I still, let me see if I still got the bag. Hang on a minute. Let me still got the bag. 1 minute. Still got the bag. I'm sure it's here somewhere. Oh, here it is. It's here. I knew it. Gotta show you this. Christ, it's full of dust. This is the bag, right? Now, this bag, when I lost my mum, was in my mum's house, okay? When we're doing the clear out, which I wasn't very good at doing. I couldn't do it. And my sister had to come down all the way from up north and do it. And put stuff in skip and give it to charity shops and things like that. But in this bag was lots of rolls of sellotape. All different tapes. This is one of them. Various other rolls of sellotape. Christmassy type tape. There's a couple of little, very hardly any left of Christmas tape as well in there, you know, so it'd be like tape like that with little Christmas trees or something like that on there. And I picked up the bag. I thought, well, that'd be useful. I'll use those. This is the last roll of sellotape in there. So I've had that bag 19... It seems such a long time, and yet it isn't. It's in the blink of an eye, isn't it, 19 years? So I've had that bag for 19 years, gradually using all the sellotape, and this is the last one. I've never, ever had to buy sellotape because my mum had so much of it. Isn't that fantastic? So this is the last roll of sellotape. And this is actually out because I had to send off... or I'm going to have to send off my my radio mic. Unfortunately, it died last night while I was doing a little favour for the people down the pub. Which I'll tell you about later on. But it got dropped. It's been dropped a few times. Maureen dropped it once. I couldn't believe it. She looked so worried about it. It's just one of those things. Microphones get dropped, unfortunately. And it got dropped last night and died. It just would not work at all after that. So I've got to send that off. And it's actually... these items to buy are expensive items. They really are. You'd be looking at something like £300, £200 to £400 for a really good quality radio mic. You know, that's a microphone without wires. I don't have one in here, I don't think. A microphone without wires is anything between £200 and £400. You can buy them for 30 quid. Don't. Please do not buy a radio mic for 30 quid. It will work to a point, but you'll get dropouts. When I mean dropouts, that's like, here's an example of that's what I mean sometimes, and it can perfectly all right, and then now it's a bit like, that's a dropout, okay? You will get that from cheap microphones, cheap radio mics. You need to spend the money. So they're expensive items to buy. The repairs are actually not too bad at all. It's less than £100 to have something like that repaired, which, of course, to me, that's a tax-deductible item. You know, I can put that through the books, and the tax man gives me the money back for it anyway, so that's okay. All quite legal. And it died last night. So I've got to send it off. And I was looking around, so I found a big envelope up there, a padded envelope, Sennheiser it has to be sent over to. And they want the serial number and all this other stuff on there. And of course, where did you buy it from? Well, I can't remember. I don't remember. It's certainly not in warranty. It was dropped anyway, so I don't mind paying the money. The actual repair cost of something like that is, I think it was about 80 quid, 79, 80, 85, somewhere around there. So I'll put that in the envelope. I'm looking up. I better tape it up as well. Although it's one of those self-sealing envelopes, I like to put a bit of tape around it as well. So I got that out of the drawer, and I realised it's the last one. The last one of Mum's sellotape. So thank you, Mum, for buying so much sellotape. You've saved me a fortune. Let's say hello to some of you this morning. I'm not expecting too many people to be here today, to be honest. And that can be seen from the amount of messages there. I didn't think many people would be up this early on a bank holiday. But again, I've got a relatively busy day today. Just doing stuff, getting ready to go up to my caravan and other bits and pieces. And I woke up at 7 o'clock. Well, I woke up at 7 o'clock. I was like, well, I don't want to just lay here. I might as well make up the time. So that's why we're here early this morning. First message of the day to the delightful, very beautiful Miss Shania Steele. Good morning, Shania. Hope you're well today. Did I tell you there's someone else on the organ rota now? Yes, another lady who I met Sunday. She's nice enough. But another person has joined the organ rota for the church for the 11 o'clock mass. I'm down to one mass a month now. Wow, how disappointing. Oh, I'd like to do every other week or something like that. No, I'm down to one a month. They sent through the new rota. There's only one a month. Ah, outrageous. Really is. But there you are. That's how it goes. I don't know if I mentioned I might offer myself to the church in Roehampton, where I grew up. The only thing is it's like a 45-minute drive there and a 45-minute drive back, which is quite long. On the other hand, if I don't stay behind for like a cup of tea, which I do at the normal one, at the Wokingham one, it'll probably work out to the same time anyway. The only thing is if you get caught in traffic, which can happen on the way back on the M25, which isn't fun at all. So I might do that because I've kind of got into that now. I quite like playing and encouraging people to sing along, that sort of thing. Good morning, Shania. Morning to Michael Bowman in Australia. Good morning, Michael. Ray Reynolds is in the house. Good morning, Ray. Happy Monday. No dealers. Axe, yes, no dealers. No deal. It's going to be a no deal. I'm telling you, it's going to be a no deal. Perhaps we'll touch on that a little bit later on. We don't like to get too political or serious on the show. You've got to be very intelligent to do political stuff. And I'm not, I'm really not. I'm not that intelligent. People start talking on and then they get involved in all sort of intricacies. And what are they talking about? And I turn off in the end. There's an advert at the moment on Facebook, which I saw this morning, for a Raspberry Pi, which I gather is a very small computer. And, get your Raspberry Pi here for £25 or whatever. But I don't know what it does. What does it do? It's not like a computer with a screen. It's just like a little circuit board. What use would that be? So what could I do with that? Can anyone answer that question? If I bought a Raspberry Pi, because they're quite cheap, I gather it's for making things. But what? I don't know what, it's I don't know. It's like giving me an empty box. There you go, Chris. Well, what do I do with that? I don't know. So what can I do with it? Give me an example or two, if you know yourselves, because I don't even know if you not know. What could I do with a Raspberry Pi if I bought one? They look quite a simple thing. And of course, you've got the usual suspects underneath the advert putting pictures of cakes and pies in, But I know it's some sort of electrical thing. I don't know what you would do with one. Please tell me. Glad to see Ray Reynolds looks like he's been having problems updating pictures, and he couldn't see pictures and things like that. I see that you've got that fixed now, so congratulations, Ray. He's been very naughty. He's been playing around with the settings. Don't touch your settings. I'm of the opinion, although I do it myself, I'm of the opinion is that if something works, leave it alone. And Ray probably thought he was going to improve something, the same as I've done myself, Ray, and and then he couldn't see any pictures or anything like that. So congratulations, Ray. Well done for getting that, guy. It's not an easy thing, is it? Working all these settings and things like that. Good morning to lovely Diane Jeb. I knew you'd be there nice and early. Morning, Diane. Morning to Michael Lawrence. How's Ronnie? Not too bad, actually. He's coming along fine. He had the stomach operation last week. He's back at home. He was back at home in 4 days. But he came round here Saturday. And remember, I said he's had a stomach operation. I did dinner, and I think I gave him too much because he was pains in his stomach and rushing to the toilet that night. So I think I did him too much dinner on Saturday. Eat it! You see, because I get very angry if people don't eat all the food on it. Well, not I don't start shouting and screaming, but I get a little bit pissed off when people don't eat all the food on their plates. I'm sorry, I do. That's how I was brought up. You don't leave anything on your plate. Where's the point? Where's the point in a farmer growing a potato, spending all that time growing a potato, and then it goes on a little van or car all the way to the supermarket. It gets washed. It gets put in a little plastic bag. And talking of plastic, I saw that. Isn't there a Morrison's somewhere that is banning all plastic? I'm sure I saw that possibly in Scotland or Wales. I think there's a Morrison's that's going to ban all plastic. That'd be interesting. So I suppose we'll have to be buying potatoes and carrots and things like that, like you would at the market. You know, in like a brown paper bag. A pound of carrots, please. You put them in a brown paper bag. He twiddles it around like that, and you put it in your bag. I mean, it's a much better thing. I mean, even in Waitrose, you can't complain about Waitrose. Everything is so well presented and all that. But often, I go past things like that. I call them posh carrots. Where you pay £2 for 5 carrots. But it's on a polystyrene tray with a bit of plastic over the top of it. What's all that about? Well, it's to make it look nice. But it doesn't matter what it looks like. A carrot is a carrot. I mean, I always pick up I must admit, I do use a lot of frozen veg now. It's cheap to buy frozen veg, isn't it? You get a great big bag of chopped up carrots for 80p or something like that in Morrison's. But all this plastic going everywhere, it's just silly. Anyway, I'm sure there's a Morrison's somewhere that's going to stop these single-use plastics there. Yes, so I did do him dinner. And I think he ate too much. That little potato, it's come in the van. Someone's put it on the supermarket shelf. Then you've spent your hard-earned money buying that potato. You've taken it home. You've chopped it up. Some of you, I don't peel potatoes. I just chop them up, wash them and chop them up and put the whole thing in there. Put them in the oven. You've used electricity to cook it and your time and effort. You've put it on a plate. And then someone chucks it in the bin. No. What was the point of that? Why did you say you wanted chips then? Oh, I didn't want that many. Well, why you didn't tell me that? But he always leaves something on the plate. And I find it so annoying. I've cut him down now to half a tin of baked beans. I cut him down to half a tin of baked beans. Oh, where's the rest of the beans? I said, you don't eat them all. Oh, well, I'll eat them today. I said, no, you won't. You'll get to the end of it and you won't even try. You'll leave them on the bloody plate. No, wrong. Not having it. So he only gets half a portion of beans now. Anyone else want to come round for a meal? Hello to Mike Reitz. Yes, it's the morning show, Mr. Ponto. It's the morning show live to Portsmouth. Good morning to you. Hello to Julian Clark, who's still using his old faithful SM58. Yes, indeed. Is that a wireless one, Julian? I think I've got a wireless SM58. Mine was a Sennheiser that I bought some years ago. It's given me very good service. But it's had a few knocks, and the drop on Sunday night was the final straw, I didn't know it had been dropped. This artist was using it right at the end of her song, because it was a talent competition I was doing. Right at the end of her song, suddenly she's looking at me. She's not working. It's not working. I was concentrating on something else on the CD. Was it a CD player? I think she was on CD. Can't remember. I've concentrated on a CD player. And I looked up. She's not working. I said, take that one, because I've always got one on standby. Oh, yeah, don't worry about that. I'm always prepared. There's always another microphone somewhere just in case. So I said, take that one. And she finished off her show, gave it to me. And while the host of the show, who was the excellent drag queen, Victoria Sponge, she'd done a really good job last night. While she was doing a chat in between, I'm trying to fix this thing. And it was completely dead. It's receiving the wireless frequency, but there's just no audio at all. So it's dead. So I've got to send that off. My neighbour's watching. Are you watching, David? Is my neighbour watching this morning as well? I can't believe it. He's not usually with us live. Good morning, David. All right. Robbie Stedman says, good morning. I like what you're wearing. Yes, just a few colours this morning. Something else. I think this cost about 20 quid, I think this one was, from rosegal.com. 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 Chinese company. Low quality, but what do you need it for? You know, it's not getting worn out, and it just looks pretty. I like pretty things, as you know. Are you a wonky veg man? Yeah, I don't have any problem at all buying wonky veg or anything like that. You know, not every carrot has to be straight and in a carrot shape, does it? You to buy wonky veg, tomatoes, anything like that, doesn't bother me at all. Tastes all the same, still exactly the same quality. It just looks a bit odd. A little bit like most of you this morning, to be honest. Morning to Ian Scott. Must be the what about the studio lighting? What about it? What's wrong with the studio lighting in here? What are you moaning about now, dear? Talk about the content, not any mistakes that you may see. Is the calendar right today? Oh dear. Good. So Saturday morning. Oh, Julian, there we are. Shaw Wireless. Had it for 20 years, never failed, touch wood. Or you might find you start getting interference on that, Julian, because they changed the frequencies of radio mics about 4 or 5 years ago now. So you might find you start getting, well, if you still use that one, you might start getting interference on that. They changed the channels, certainly here in the UK. I don't know about where you are. Is it Spain you are? I can't remember now. You might find it if you try and use it over here. So Saturday morning, got in from work, usual time, and I noticed there was a little bit of a drip coming from one of my overflow pipes at the front of the house. And it was a fairly, it wasn't a stream, but it was a fairly fast drip, you know, drip, drip, drip. I thought, oh, where's that coming? So I'm looking at, I've got 4 outlet pipes, like overflow pipes. I'm trying to work out what one. And I thought, I bet that's the solar panel expansion tank, which is like a little tank of water in a loft. Because you remember, I've got a bit of a problem with I've got 2 types of solar panels on the roof. One for electricity, which are fine, they've never been a problem, and I have a hot water. It's called a thermal panel, a thermal solar panel, and that's the one where there's a little pump and it sucks water out of the tank, goes right to the top. It goes through the panel on a squiggly like tube in this panel, which is like plasticky, glassy stuff on the top, and it's like a frame. Goes through there, sun hits it, and it returns to the tank hot. And it has done a very good job. Had that for about, I think 2006 I had that installed, so a fair amount of time, right? But it stopped working. It stopped working last year. I had some blokes out to repair it last year, and they did a good job. When they repaired it, it was fantastic. The water's so hot you can't put your finger under it, and it doesn't use any electricity or gas or anything. The actual large thermal solar panel has got a small solar panel on it as well, which creates electricity to run the little pump that sucks all the water up. So it's all self-contained, and it's been working fine. Last year, it didn't work the year before last at all, and I thought I left it. And then last year I had it repaired. It cost me 500 quid, I think, to have this thing repaired. And I thought, well, that's okay, you know. I've had it 13 years. Fair enough, needs a bit of maintenance. And they repaired it very well. And it worked right the way through until winter started, which is when it really stops because the sun doesn't hit it enough. So you can get anything in the winter. Come the spring, it starts again. And certainly come the spring, I could hear the motor going around. Bzz, 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 no hot water. I thought, oh, it's gone again. Anyway, I've been having a few conversations on the phone to and from the people that repair them. It's called GenFit. GenFit is the name of the company. And the bloke told me, he said, if I can tell you some things to try before we come out again, possibly to save you a call-out charge. And one of the things he said was to empty the tank. He thinks that some limescale has moved because we've got a water softener. Not an actual water softener machine. They're like tea bags, large tea bags, and you drop them in the little expansion tap, which softens the water, you see. So he thinks the fact that we're softening the water has made limescale come off the pipe somewhere, and it's gone into the system and blocked it. Okay, that's what he thinks happened. So he suggested getting a hose, connecting it to the bottom of the main immersion heater tank, which most of you will have, unless you've got one of those combination boilers, and then putting the hose outside and opening the tap and completely emptying it and see if anything comes out like that, which I was prepared to do. I was a bit worried about doing anything with water or gas. I certainly wouldn't attempt anything to do with gas at all. Besides, that's illegal. You're not allowed to. But water as well. I'm a bit funny with water as well. But I was going to have a go at this, so that's it. Anyway, so I've come in and this thing's dripping. I thought, I bet that's a solar panel tank. I'll leave it till tomorrow morning. I had a quick look in the cupboard, not going up into the loft. I had a look into the cupboard, and there's a turning thing. I think they're called a gate, a red turning gate. So I've turned that off, and I thought maybe that'll stop it. Maybe it won't. I'll go to bed. So I went to bed. Got up in the morning, come out, and it was still dripping. I thought, oh, it's not that then. Anyway, so I turned that thing back on again. And I'm doing my breakfast, and I noticed out the back of the house now, which is... So if I've got a roof like that, that side, that's got nothing on it. The solar panel is on this side, but the little pipe is coming out there. That's where it overflows to. That's what the drip is, the overflow. So I had my breakfast, and I went out the back, and I thought, where's that water coming from? It's coming down the other side now, and I looked down. And sure enough, on the side that the panel is on, there is now water coming down. And that was more of a slow stream, very slow stream, rather than dripping. This would be about 11 o'clock in the morning. So I could hear the pump going. You can just about hear the pump going, zzz, like that. And I thought, oh, don't say that. So it's coming out of the panel. Anyway, I got my ladder out from the side, went up. And I could, once I'm up on, I won't climb on the roof. You see, it's actually, the pitch of it isn't too much like that. And blokes go up there and they happily climb all over it. They say, oh, it's quite flat up here. No, I'm not going to do that. Not going to do it. I mean, that bloke died, didn't he? Remember that bloke died? He was a very famous bloke. Rod Hull. Rod Hull, he used to have this bird called emu. And he died when he climbed up onto his roof trying to fix his TV aerial. That's true, that is. He was always on the telly, big favourite with the children, and he had this bird called Emu. It wasn't a real bird, it was a puppet, and it would attack people like that. Parkinson is my most memorable programme that I watched him on years and years ago, and he died. He went up to fix his aerial, fell off the roof. So I really don't want to climb on a roof. But from the top of the ladder, I can see the panel, and out the corner of it is pouring water. I say pouring. There's a constant stream, and as the sun is hitting the pump better and better as it climbs in the sky, this pump works, I think, a bit harder, and more water's coming out. I thought, oh well, I've got to stop that, because my water meter's turning around as well, dear. So I thought, well, right, I'll come back downstairs. I thought, well, it's Saturday morning. You won't be able to win a company. You're going to have to think about this. And I thought to myself, well, if I disconnect the pump, surely that will stop the water being sucked up there. And I thought, I'll go and do that. So I've come back in the house, got the stepladder out, gone up into the loft, and I can hear the water. Zzz. Also, the expansion tank is now empty, almost empty. That's almost empty, and there's water coming from the big tank into the little tank, because that's how it fills. I thought, well, that's what's making the water go around. I'll turn that off. So I found on the side of the little pump a little screw, and I turned that, and that stopped the water going into that little tank. Right, one job done. Then I went to the pump, and I saw 2 wires to the pump. They're very low voltage because they're working off the little solar panel. And I literally pulled the wire out of the little connector box, and it stopped. The pump stopped straight away. Okay, so I've gone back outside. There's still a drip. I thought, well, I'll leave that for 10 minutes. That'll be the, still coming down the roof. The sort of last bit coming down there. And then I'll have a look later. And that was it. And indeed, I came back inside. I did a little bit of work, and I had a lot of paperwork to do yesterday. Self-employed, you have to do tax things and all that business. I do it every week. Some people, they leave it till the end of the year, and they get in such a terrible state. If you're self-employed, you've got to do this stuff every week. I mean, at the very, very least every month. But even if you do it every month, you can get into all sorts of, what's that receipt? I don't remember that. And then you'll see something perhaps that you bought. I don't know, perhaps a mobile phone for the business. And you look for the mobile phone. Oh, now, why did I buy that? Was that for the business or was that for home? So you can get into a terrible state if you don't keep your tax stuff up on date. So I'd done that. Then I went back outside. Water stopped. No buzzing of the motor. Went out the front, the little pipe has stopped dripping there. Went back up into the loft to check. The little expansion tank has now filled with water, but it's stopped. And I pushed down that ball valve thing. It's got a ball valve in it, and no water came out. So I've clearly stopped that, and I've stopped the pump. So problem not solved, but stopped, if you see what I mean. Now, my guess is... And I'm not a plumber. My guess is the plastic hose within the solar panel has burst. That's my guess. Or it's got blocked or something like that. But it's certainly not working, and that water should not be pouring out the side of it. It's supposed to be all sealed. So I think that's broken now. And to have that fixed, I was told if you ever need a new panel, it's going to cost you £1,000, right? There'd be, I suppose... 500 quid to pay the blokes for coming out. That's £1,500. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it. Now, how much do I spend here? Remember, I live half here and half at my caravan now. How much do I spend in a year heating hot water? Literally, if I turn the boiler on to heat the hot water, 10 minutes, it's really hot. Literally, you know that button on your little control panel, hot water +1, which means turn it on for an hour. So I put that on for 10 minutes, then I turn it off after 10 minutes, and I've got enough hot water for a shower. And that's all I need. That's really all I need. And that hot water will probably last 2 days. Most of the time, I don't have a shower here. I have my showers at the swimming pool anyway. So I literally... turn that thing on for about 10 minutes every couple of days, sort of once a week. Maybe let's say 20 minutes once a week I have that thing on. So I probably spend about 30 quid a year, 40 quid a year maybe, making hot water here. Well, if I spend £1,500, it's just not worth doing, is it? It really isn't worth having the thing fixed. But I had 13 years use out of it where I had free hot water. So I think I'll live with that. I'll ring the repair place on, when is it? Because it's close to date. Probably Tuesday. Oh no, the bloke's gone on holiday now for 2 weeks. I'll ring in a couple of weeks and I say, look, this is what I've done. Is this now in effect turned off and it won't burst at all or anything like that? Come the winter. I don't want like floods of water. Have I now in effect turned it off and it's safe? That's all I want to know. And if he says yes, that's it. I shall leave it. So that's why I was quite busy on Saturday and I didn't have time to do that. I did other stuff as well on Saturday. Let's just say hello to some of you again. Good morning to lovely Joanna. Don't worry, Joanna, you haven't missed any singing yet. You haven't missed any singing yet, my darling. Okay, I haven't sung yet, so I'll try and do a little bit later for you. Let's have a look. Julian, there we are. David Bailey. Good morning, David. I buy the small tins of baked beans. Sainsbury's beans are down to 30p. Oh, I don't know. There's only one brand of beans. There's 2 brands of beans I like, actually, David. Branston beans, which have got a lot of flavour. And at last, they've put the ring pulls on top of their cans, because they must have been the last people to not have ring pulls on the top of their cans. Heinz have had them for ages. I actually prefer the taste of the Branson ones, and I congeal baked beans. I like them to be on the stove for so long that they congeal. I like them like that. And at last, they've put a ring pull on top of the can. No more tin opener needed there, my friend. Yeah, that's right. David also says, if I buy carrots and veg and freeze them myself after peeling them, do you have to cook them though, carrots and veg, before you freeze them? Don't you have to? Is it blanch? Is it called blanch? I think you have to blanch them or something like that. The other beans I like, by the way, David, are from America, Bush's baked beans. They are lovely. Bush baked beans. Bush's. They are lovely. They are. Morning to Mr. SOS Gregorian. Good morning to you, young man. All right. Mike says you had a bit of a stage invasion on Friday. First time I've heard you use colourful language. Oh, did I swear? Oh, you must remember that. That's a live situation. You will get swearing sometimes on there. I can't remember, Mike. Morning to Diane Strelly. Good morning, Diane. Very well. Are you coming for bank holiday karaoke tonight, darling? Starts at 7:30, okay? Morning to Terence Layton. Good morning, young Terry. Hello to you, sir. Jennifer Urbeck. Good morning, young Jennifer. Lovely to see you. So many of you that are not usually here. I guess you're away from work, aren't you? We're still here every morning, generally, around about 9:30. Okay, we're always here, usually in the morning, or sometimes we do appear at other times. So always make sure you have either your notifications thing set on Facebook, or indeed if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button there, and you'll get a little notification when we're doing a show, which can appear at any time, but usually around about 9:30 in the morning. Okay. Good morning to Stafford Blake, who says, the miracle of love will take away your pain. When the miracle of love comes your way again. It's not going to come my way, Blakey. People keep... Do you know how many years I've heard that? Oh, you haven't found the right one yet. Oh, someone will come along. No, they won't. Oh, well, you're being negative. That's why there's no one there. No, some people are destined to be on their own, and that's me. Besides, if I wasn't on my own, I probably wouldn't be here every morning. So don't pray too much for me to find someone. Good morning to Maureen, joining us on a big television set. Good morning, Maureen. Hope you're well, darling. Baths are much better for relaxing. No, I don't like baths, Staffy. I do not like baths. Sitting in there in dirty water for hours on end, no thank you. I like to put all the soap on there and then that shower. You know, like that when they clean the cars. I mean, I would happily get myself one of those jet washers. I could employ my mate to come round here, soak myself up, and then with the jet wash, he would literally, get the dirt off like that. I'm like that with a shower. I go like that, so it pushes all the dirt from my body down into the drains and back into the bowels of the earth where it belongs. Mike, get a combi boiler put in. You'll only heat the water you need. Yes, I think you're right. The only reason, Mike, that's a reasonably new boiler now, so that's not really going to happen. But when it was changed, the reason that particular boiler went in was because I had the solar panel, you see, and there's a double coil in the tank, one of which will no longer be used now, though. But yes, you're quite right. A combi boiler would be better, but the boiler as it is now, it's. I mean, as I say, 10 minutes and the water's hot enough, so I'm not too bothered about that. That boiler's been in about 4 or 5 years now, so it's quite a new one. I love you too, Blakey. You know that. Jennifer, do you go swimming still? Shower at that facility? Yes, indeed, Jennifer. That's where I usually have a shower. That's usually where I have a shower, at the swimming pool. I will hopefully be going this morning, although I'm a little bit worried about that. Being a bank holiday, it might be full of children. I don't have a problem with children in the swimming pool. Some of the old gits in there, they moan and, oh, the kids are in the pool now. Oh, please. They're children. They need to swim as well. Don't be so miserable. It's only for one day anyway. Oh, we pay our membership. Oh, shut up. Let them in there and that's it. Be done with it. Besides, we have our side and they have their side, and that's fine anyway. Poor Diana's working early tomorrow. Are you not? Oh, well, sorry, darling. Well, we finish at 11. It's not like it's a late night tonight, dear. 7:30 to 11 tonight. Diana, come on, come down, girl. Jennifer loves Bush's baked beans. Didn't someone send you beans from America a long time ago? Yes, indeed. And someone sent me some for my birthday, which, funnily enough, you should mention that, I had last week. I had my Bush baked beans last week. They are delicious, my dear. Absolutely delicious. Good morning to Gary Davidson. All right, Gary, good morning to you. Jennifer says, love ain't coming for me either. I think it's a February omen. Do you reckon, Jenny? It's our birthday. We are February people, aren't we, my love? We are indeed. Hello to Mark Jones. Good morning. LaBelle is there. Good morning to the man of my dreams. Thank you, LaBelle. I see all your little posters coming out. I liked a few of those. Looks like you're having plenty of work coming in there, which is great. LaBelle is a drag queen who we kind of met up on Facebook on here and became friends, which is nice. And it looks like she's busy over the next few months there. Good. Diana might come tonight. Well, come, Diana. Please, could you tell your friend to stop singing those bloody depressing ballads? Why can't he do something happy like, I don't know, Save Your Kisses for Me or Always Look on the Bright Side of Life or some 60s number? Honestly, the Whitney Houston stuff and all that he does, we're just crying, dear. We're so upset and unhappy. It's making people depressed. Please sing happy songs. And you, Diana, you have improved with your song choice, I must say. Well done. At last you're doing songs that are a bit happier. Hero and I Will Always Love You don't suit you. Okay? That doesn't mean you're not good. You've got to choose the songs that suit you. I couldn't sing like an R&B song, you know, like Beyonce or something like that. That's not the voice, the kind of voice I kind of have, if you see what I mean. Ray Reynolds, is Ray with us this morning? I don't know if he's with us this morning. He may or may. He doesn't come for the whole show anymore, does he? Ray sometimes, he wouldn't be able to sing, say, a soul-y number. That's not his voice. He sings fantastically, like really old stuff, like war-y type tunes, you know, like Give Me Tonight, Sergeant Major, and things like that. That's his voice. Chai, you know Chai, the black lady, thin, beautiful lady. She does soulful numbers, and that's what suits her. You know, if she sung perhaps a song by Queen, that might not work so well for her. You have to find what songs you sing. But some people, they insist on singing songs, and you know they're not right for them. You should sing happy songs at all times, Diana, and that's it. What is your fast new song? Please tell me. Sade always makes me cry. Oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I'm glad Maureen's feeling a lot better. She's had a bit of a chest infection, so she's coming along tonight as well. Good morning, Maureen. I hope you're well. Thank you, those of you that have taken the time to share this show to your walls as well. It's very kind of you to do that. All right. So that was the solar panel. After I'd done that and everything seemed to be working all right, I put the washing in. I'd done 2 lots of washing on Saturday, and it was nice and hot. Nice and hot Saturday, wasn't it? So that I literally, you put that out on the line, 15 minutes later, it's all dry. And it's fantastic in the summer, just coming into summer now. I do have a summer backdrop, and it's great. I'm not going to tell you what it is. That will be going up. Should we put that up in June or June? When is official summer date? Is it June? Oh, no, you mustn't see that yet. Hang on a minute. I don't know when that is. Oh, no, 21st of June. So that'll be going up at late June. We've got a summer backdrop to go behind us there, which you'll love. It's quite camp. I think you'll like that one. Okay. LaBelle says next month is Pride Month in New York and the 50th anniversary. Any gay people who do shows is overbooked. Well, good luck to you, darling. I can see that, my love. What you going to do with all that money, my love? The drag queens in America are paid differently to the way they are here. I gather. You'll correct me if I'm wrong here, LaBelle. Here, they turn up and the venue pays them quite a large amount of money to do the show, right? Over in New York, I don't think the venue actually pays them too much money, but they make money literally from people like me who would walk up to the stage and shove, I don't know, $1, $5, $10, $20 in their hand or down their bra or something like that. Is that correct? Because that's how it was when I went to see a drag show in Florida, but that is going back 15 years or so, something like that. Is that how it works there? Do let us know, please. Terry says, I'll happily sing Everybody's Changing by Keane. That's a good one. And Gavin Bass does a good rendition of Total Eclipse of the Heart. Turn around. Every now and then I feel a little bit. That one, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Summer starts officially on Saturday. No, it doesn't. That's the 1st of June, Saturday. Just because it's June doesn't mean it's summer. Still spring, dear. Look, official. Where is it now? First day of summer, 21st of June, it says there. Now, you're lying to me. You're just making it up as you go along, lovey. Like Theresa May. Making it up as you go along. That's it there. Let's have a look there. Scrolling down there. Good. So after I did that, I went to pick my mate up. And first of all, I had to go to the bank on Saturday. So I popped into the bank. And then from there, he had mentioned the fact that he saw on Facebook... what's the selling thing? What's that called? Marketplace, isn't it? On Facebook Marketplace, somewhere, which is only about 15 minutes drive from here, had advertised that we're doing cheap plants. And like me, my best mate Ronnie, he likes gardening. We love plants and gardening. We find it so relaxing, literally, to walk around places looking at plants, and usually we fill up a basket and spend 100 quid or something like that. Well, that stopped. There was a period of time when we didn't have much in our gardens, just lawn, and we would go around garden centres. This is a couple of years back now, and literally every time, £100 every time. Unbelievable. All on the credit card, of course. And then you get how much on plants? And you look in your garden, and if your garden is a reasonable size, you spend £100 and, like 4 plants in there. Well, not 4, but you know what I mean. It doesn't look like you've got much for the money. So we built this, and that doesn't happen anymore simply because we haven't got the space anymore. All these things have grown. Now, gardening, as I said on the previous show last week, I think, can be as cheap or as expensive as you want it to be. Example, you can walk around, okay? Maybe you'll see a bush somewhere in someone's garden. Do not steal flowers. I might have done that occasionally myself, but no, don't steal things. Don't start cutting bits off people's bushes. But if you do, I mean, don't start going to someone's house with, when they're in bed at night with a saw and hacking on branches and things like that. Don't start doing that. But, small pair of secateurs or scissors, you don't even need those either. You just, that's quite a nice, and you see a little bit of growth, and anyway, snap, and you've got it. That's it. No one's going to notice. Who's going to notice? But, of course, that could be classed as theft. Be very careful with that. Okay? So it can be done as cheaply with a few cuttings. You just put them in some little pots of earth. Keep watering them. Some will work. Depends what they are. Some won't. Don't make the mistake of cutting off flowers and putting them in earth. That's not going to work. What you want is a bit that's growing. A little bit that's on the edge and growing. I've got a couple of rhododendrons that I'm growing at the moment. That fell into my hand, from a bush. I was just walking past this bush, and this piece of new growth fell into my hand. So they're in the pots at the moment. They're only that big there. So that's free gardening. Or you can go down the garden spend centre. I went down one last week. And it was incredible. I thought, that's a nice little rhododendron. 25 quid for one plant. How much? And it was so big, it wasn't massive, it was so big, but that big, that high. But then we found another one, much smaller than that, £7. And that £7 one will be as big as the £25 one this time next year, right? So you can do it as cheap or as expensive as you want. So we found this place advertised, so we got back in the car and started driving there. It was about 15 minutes, not far really. Had a little bit of traffic, unfortunately, on the way. And we drove through this lovely area. I think it's called Lightwater. And we got there. And it's someone's house. And out the front of the house, they've got all these plants for sale. And there's loads of stuff. There's geraniums. There's begonias. There's little tomato plants and things like that. I thought, this looks quite nice. And we got out of the car. And what are those long things? Oh, gosh. Foxgloves. Well, I love foxgloves. Poisonous to animals, foxgloves, but I love them. Tall things sticking up like that. There's loads of those out there. But then I looked at the price and I thought, it's not cheap here. He was charging £1 for a tomato plant, and that might seem cheap to you. In comparison to perhaps a garden centre or shop, it's probably a bit cheaper. But I've been up north last week, and a similar thing, not on the same scale as this, I must admit. Someone had, and often when you're driving around Lincolnshire, you'll find like little shelves or a table outside the front of someone's house in a little glass jar. And there'll be a little sign there, you know, tomato plants, 40 pence, which is what I got. Like, see, I bought 8 tomato plants last week, 40 pence each. And someone, you know, wants to make themselves a little bit of money. They spent time putting seeds in a pot. They've germinated them, grown them so high, and then they sell them to you for 40 pence. They've made a little bit of money. You've got a plant. Fine. He was charging £1. And I thought that was a bit over the top. And then there were, the geraniums were actually reasonably priced. I think they were charging about £2 for a tray of 6. But the begonias, like there was a thing, £2.20, little stuck in there. I said, oh, is that for the tray? No, that's each. Ooh. And I thought, that's a bit dear. And as I was going around looking at these plants, I thought, not cheap at all here, I don't think. Anyway, Ronnie bought some. I didn't buy any at all there. So they weren't as cheap as what I thought they were going to be. It was all very nicely set out. And I had a good conversation with some of the people in there as well, which was quite nice. And it turns out that a member of his family works something to do with a gardening place, and that's kind of the overflow of stuff that they've got too much of, and he sells them then from his house, where it's not that much cheaper. I didn't think it was cheap at all there, to be honest. I might just as well have gone to the garden centre. So I didn't buy anything. Ronnie bought a few bits and pieces, which is put in now, and that's all right. But it was nice to have a little day out. A lovely area called Lightwater. Really, really nice area to drive around there. I was talking to the bloke about what's the price of houses around here, and it's dearer than it is where I am here in Bracknell. So it was nice to talk to him, really. There we are. And then we came home here, had a little bit of lunch, watched an episode of Dynasty. I've got one more. I think there's one more episode of Dynasty to watch, and that's the last of the series. There's going to be a series 3 of Dynasty that's already signed up. Don't know when that's starting yet, but I believe the last Dynasty has now been uploaded. Those of you in the UK watching on Netflix. And it's a great series. It's just hilarious, Dynasty. I love watching it. Let's go back to some of your messages there. LaBelle. On the subject of payment to drag queens in New York, she says it all depends on the venue. Each queen has a booking fee. I see. So you go in and you receive that booking fee. But we largely make money from tips. Yes, which is what I thought. Literally, they're on the stage and people hand them money. That's how they make their wages, okay? LaBelle, because it's Pride Month, it's a mixture of paid shows and volunteer work. Of course, volunteer work. Lots of parades and a festival of shows as well. Fantastic. Oh, you'll have a great time. I'm sure you have in the past anyway. Jennifer, I tried gardening. I suck. This is the last year I'm trying. I'm grateful at growing weeds. Well, weeds are plants, Jennifer. Congratulations, girl. Don't do yourself down, my love. Weeds are plants. You are a gardener. End of. David Bailey, I buy my plants online. Yes, I've bought plants online. Limited, different levels of success with gardening online. I've found some of the stuff, it's great. It comes, you put it in, it comes up. Other stuff, not so good. So I see where you're coming from, David. I like to walk around a garden centre and look and touch and, more importantly, smell. I like nice smelling flowers. I mean, there's some beautiful roses out there. Now, in my garden here, can't grow roses. They don't like it. I mean, there are some in there, and they do kind of flower, but only maybe a few flowers, not many at all. I've been to garden places and people's gardens with masses and massive beautiful roses. However, down at the caravan, I'm not south facing here, you see. Down at the caravan, my caravan, the side of it is south facing. Now, I've bought one rose for there. I may well buy some more, but I got that from the garden centre, and I went for the smelliest one. Oh, I love the smell of flowers, don't you? The trouble is, there's so many beautiful roses out there, and they've been hybrid ones, and there's no smell. There's no smell. Don't go for the look. Go for the smell. Not with humans. Always go for the look, darling. Don't go for the smell of humans. There are some nice smelling humans. Unfortunately, none of them are in my family, but there we are. My sister's feet are just bloody awful. People with bad feet, my sister and my 2 nephews. I don't know about my niece. I don't think I've smelt her feet yet. I just want to point out, I don't go round, or at people's feet levels smelling them. I don't do that. Anyway, David buys his plants online, cheap and delivered very quickly. If I buy any plant, it has to give something back, like tomatoes, fruit trees, or flowers that attract butterflies and bees. Yeah, lovely. Bees won't harm you, incidentally. Never be afraid of a bee. Right next to my caravan is this bush that is covered at the moment with little berries and flowers. And if you get close to it, you can hear them. There's hundreds of bees in there. And there's like a low bzzz. You can go right up to bees, right, and watch them working. They will not bother you. But don't start waving your arms around like that and upsetting them. Then you might get attacked. Just quietly stand there and observe them doing their work. Or the noise is quite pleasant. It's like a helicopter that's far away. Bzzz. Loads of them all over this bush. LaBelle weeds our plants. I want that T-shirt. I expect you to smoke it as well, do you? I see where you're coming from there, David. Ian's going to fly back to the UK and pinch some of Chris's flowers. Are you? Are you coming back here? I shall have to have a fence built around around this garden, I think. Ian, don't talk about beans. It cost me $3 a can for Heinz baked beans in America. What a rip-off. There's nothing wrong with it. Why don't you like the Bush's ones? You should have the Bush ones. They're nice. They're nice, they are. Good. Okay, so we watched Dynasty. I hang me washing out. Hang on me washing out. And then I wanted to buy a Hoover. I had to get a new Hoover for the caravan. About just over a year ago, so of course it's out of date. I bought this Hoover. It was one of those wireless ones, so you plug it in and charge it up. And it was kind of in 2 pieces. It was like a handheld piece which clipped in to like a push along one. So it stands up like an L shape, and you push it along and it sucks. It's never been that good. Not only that, if you bang the front of it while you're going on, sometimes you bang a chair or something like that, it stops. And I had to take the thing off, take that off, put it back on, and it would work again. Bloody annoying it was. Really annoying. Not only that, it wasn't particularly good. It was a VAX unit, a VAX. And it picked up a bit of stuff, but if there was anything that was slightly ingrained into the carpet, it just wouldn't have the power to suck it out. You have to get down there with your nails, sort of scrape it, and then put it over, and then it would pick it up. Well, it's useless. Bloody useless. Anyway, last week I thought, I can't be bothered with this. And I was hoovering it along, and it banged again. I lost my temper. I started bashing it. I beat up my Hoover, and then it didn't work after that, unfortunately. One of those things. So I went out and bought a new Hoover yesterday. I went to Curry's. Not my favourite shop, really. But it was either there or Argos. And I was a bit tired after having our massive dinner. I've discovered... Oh, Mike, I hope you're still with us, Mike. Vegan sausage rolls from Aldi. They do 4 for £1.75. They are delicious. I put 4 in the oven on Saturday, 2 for Ronnie and 2 for me. Well, he only had 1. I had 3. He didn't want both of them, so I had his one. Because I can't be having food in the bin, dear. So it was a large dinner. I did some baked beans and some Slimming World chips. And we had that for dinner. And after that, we went out to the shop. So I got my Hoover from Curry's. Lovely lady in there, Asian lady. She was, and we went in. Can I help you at all? No, we're okay, thanks. And then when I found what I wanted, I then sought her out because she had offered to help. You know what I mean? So I sought her out, and she went out and got one. And she come back. Oh, and then the hard sell of the extended warranty starts, doesn't it? So the Hoover was £55, which is very reasonable. They had Hoovers in there for 500 quid, £449. Who pays that for a Hoover? I can't believe many people pay 450 quid for a blooming Dyson. Just because it says Dyson. They are very good, don't get me wrong. I've had Dyson Hoovers, Dyson vacuum cleaners, right? They are fantastic, but they're not £450 fantastic. Too expensive. The last one I bought was a Hoover, and I've got that here in the house. I've now had that about 4 or 5 years. It's fantastic. As long as you keep the filter clean. It did stop sucking very hard. And I read the instructions. It said you've got to put the filter under a tap, which is strange because it just seems like it's made out of cardboard. But nevertheless, I followed the instructions and I kept the water going until it was clean coming out. Put it outside to dry, put it back in. Oh my God, the difference that makes when you clear out a Hoover filter, rather. Put it on, turn the machine. You must make sure it's dry before you turn it back on. Put it on. Well, it nearly sucked the carpet off the floor. The suction level had increased dramatically, so you must keep that clean. And that's been perfectly all right, that Hoover. And I think I paid about 50 quid for that as well. There's a lot of difference between 450 quid and 50 quid. And it's bagless, you know, it's got the little thing and you unclip it and you just tip the dust into a bin and there you go. So the one I bought was very, very similar to that, and that's for the caravan. But she went on and on about this. The extended warranty, that's the if you damage it or something like that and you need a new one, they give you a new one. Or so they say. Because I betcha there'd be a list of all these conditions, and yours would go wrong. Well, that's in the conditions. No, it's not covered, I'm afraid. It'd be like that. I have very, very little insurance. I really do, because I know how they work. We've seen it time and time again. You probably know someone who's claimed for something, and you're claiming for a pair of shoes. Oh, did you wear them? Oh, well, that's not covered then. You know, that sort of thing. They wriggle and they squirm and they don't want to give you the money that they owe you. So I have always thought insurance companies are legalised robbers. Legalised robbers, that's what they are. And I will not have any of these damn extended warranties. I just won't have them. She went on and on. So the Hoover was 15 quid, and for a 3-year extended warranty, accidental damage type thing, it was 15 quid. Not a lot of money. But on principle, I just won't have it. So I didn't buy it. But she didn't half go on. She must have asked us at least 5 times. On and on. And I got fed up with that, you see. That's why I don't go in curries, the hard sell of the extended warranties. Incidentally, they had a washing machine in there. It was 1,200 quid. £1,200 for a washing machine. But... and looking at it, and you could see, you know, it was the latest thing. Even the drum inside looks a bit strange. I think it was a Sanyo or something like that. But here's the important thing. It came with an 11-year guarantee. We'll have that. That's unheard of, isn't it? 11-year guarantee for a washing machine. So actually, that probably doesn't sound too bad to me. If I was buying a washing machine... 200 quid, 250 quid. That's the washing machines I've never bought anything with all these electronic gadgets in it. I like the dial. So simple. You know, what program do you want? None of this. Oh, I bought one. Pushing all these buttons. I just want a dial. Right. Turn it round to 40, push on. That's it. What can go wrong with that? My sister, I remember my sister, she had a Bendix once, and I think that went wrong a couple of times. And that was like top of the range, all these electronic gadgets on the front of it, you know, non-creasing washing and all that business. Just make it so complicated. So much to go wrong. You know, just all you want is a dial. Turn it on, 40, press start. That's it. And as I say, I paid £250 for a washing machine. This was, but for £1,200... if they're giving you an 11-year guarantee, that sounds pretty good to me. So we come out of Curry's with a new Hoover. 55 quid. Quite pleased about that. Over on to some of your messages there. LaBelle says, somehow I don't believe you don't have a smelly foot fetish. No, I don't. Really, I do not like feet, LaBelle. I do not like feet. They stink. I do not like smelly feet. Now, how can I put this? Years ago, there was someone that came round here who stayed. And in the morning, my entire house smelt of their feet. It was awful. Awful. I'm serious. It was awful. I couldn't wait to get them out of the house. Bye. Oh, I opened all the windows and everything. It was awful. I got those plug-in things, bleached down the toilet to try and cover the smell of these feet. Awful. Mike Reese-Ponto got some Aldi vegan sausage rolls on Friday. They are delicious. On a par with Greg's. Absolutely. Yes, Mike. They really are. Very, very tasty. Highly recommended those. If you're vegetarian or vegan, or you don't need to be these things, but you can still try them. You know, try them instead of a normal sausage roll. Go down, get yourself down to Aldi, get 4 sausage rolls in a box, £1.75, shove them in the oven, I think 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. Just watch the pastry because you know 2 minutes can make all the difference with pastry. Okay, you can go from just about right to severely burnt in the space of a couple of minutes, so watch those. They're really, really nice vegan sausage rolls from Aldi. And you're quite right, they are on a par with the Greggs ones. The Gregg ones are delicious. All the stuff in Greggs is delicious anyway, isn't it? You know, especially the Tottenham cake. Tottenham cake, that's a sponge with pink icing on there. Very nice indeed. Michael Lawrence, go cordless Hoover. That's what I had, Michael. Oh, cordless Hoover. Well, I was cordless Vax. And I wasn't impressed with the suction of it. It just couldn't get the ingrained bits of dirt out the carpet like my Hoover does. So I've gone back to a corded one now. And that's fine. I mean, it's no hassle, is it? Anyway, just plugging in now and again. Why do you? We don't need all these extra gadgets and things. But that's why I went back to a corded one, a wired vacuum cleaner, because it just didn't get the dirt out properly. Mike says the shops get commission from insurance companies. That's why they push the warranties. She did. She pushed and pushed and pushed. Really annoyed me. Jennifer, did the washer come with a complimentary dryer? Oh, it did it all. Washed and dried at the same time. Very clever. There was a bloke on the radio, actually, last week. There was a call-in programme I was listening to, and they were talking about gadgets. And he didn't know you could get a unit that was a washer-dryer. He didn't know that. He said, what do you mean it dries it? You mean it spins it? No, it spins it, and then it dries it. And he's like, how does that work? Well, we don't know. We don't need to know. We just plug them in and we use them. That's it. Not interested in how things work. Plug it in and use it. Yes, you can buy this actual gadget was the £1,200. It was a washer dryer. So you've corrected me. Yeah, it was a washer dryer. Good morning to Adrian Richardson. What have I missed? Nothing, Adrian. If you'd have been in earlier, you wouldn't have missed anything. Shame on you for not being there early. Thank you very much. Poor LaBelle doesn't smoke anything. She's asthmatic. Yeah, same as me. I used to smoke, LaBelle. Must be 30 years ago that I gave up. And I would literally smoke 20 cigarettes while I was at work DJing in 4 hours. Oh, dreadful I was. But gave up about 30 years ago. Ian Scott, £1,200 for a washing machine. Does it iron your clothes as well? No, but it does give you an 11-year guarantee, which is, I think that's pretty good. An 11-year guarantee on a washing machine, because you've got all those moving parts in there, haven't you? That's when things go wrong, when there's moving parts. You know, if we as humans just sat here still, we wouldn't run out, would we? We wouldn't break down. It's because we've got so many moving parts. Shania's off to church. Cheerio, Shania. Incidentally, if you like church music, I've just uploaded yesterday morning my latest organ playing video, because it was my turn again yesterday. Okay, so I've just uploaded that. You can find that at facebook.com/Chris Reardon UK. Just go, I think 2 or 3 posts below this one, and you'll see my latest little organ playing thing. All People That on Earth Do Dwell was the one I did. Okay. David Bailey, everyone brings joy to my house. Give me joy in my heart, keep me praising. Yeah, that's joy. That's joy. Some when they enter, others when they leave. I don't like anyone in my house for too long. 2 hours maximum. And then it starts doing my head in. Get out! Get out! Give me joy in my heart, I pray. Sing Hosanna. Let's sing along, gang. LaBelle's never smoked. Good girl. Good girl. Don't ever start smoking. That's it. So after that, I thought we'd go to B&Q because we'd been to that plant. I was a bit disappointed that I hadn't bought any plants, really, because we'd gone to that place to buy plants and we didn't. So we went to B&Q and had a look around there. I don't know. Plants seem to have got rather expensive in garden centres and B&Q as well. Is it me just becoming tighter? I'm not quite sure. And I'm walking around. Everything seems to be 50 or 60 pence more expensive than I expected it to be. Have they suddenly got an extra tax on plants or things like that? And I didn't buy any plants there either, I don't think. No, I didn't. Excuse me, hiccups. Didn't buy any plants in B&Q either. I got a couple of bits and pieces. I needed an extension lead and some things like that. So we come out of B&Q. Didn't buy anything in there. By now, I've got a bit of fatigue. I do suffer. I've got a little condition, which means sometimes I suffer from fatigue. And I got it big, and it can come down all of a sudden within the space of a couple of minutes. So I'm walking around B&Q, and I've got the fatigue. And I thought, I need to go home to bed now. And we came back. I dropped my mate at home. And I went to bed, and that was the end of my day, really. That was the end of my day. Adrian, I was late. Long stay at E&E last night. Oh, I hope you're okay. My washing machine was about £1,200 10 years ago and still going well. What one have you got? I bet it's a Posh. Is it something like a Posh? They're very good. Good morning to Jason Childer. Morning, Jason Childers. Good morning to you, sir. What make was your washing machine, Adrian? Eh? I bet it was a Posh. Was it a Posh? Do let us know, dear. Saturday night, quiet at work. We had a singer called Alan J. Very good, actually. Very good, Alan J. And I see him doing cabaret circuit. I don't see him as a pop star. I see him. That's not a rundown at all. You know, you see some people and think, oh, he'd be good at that. She'd be good at that. That kid would be good at that. You know, and sometimes, although you know, I'm not an expert. Sometimes I think people are trying to go in one direction and they should be going in that direction. Do you know what I mean? That's not a put down at all. He's very good. He was very, very good. And I said to him, did you do holiday camps and sort of cabaret? Oh, no. He says, I'm more of a dance singer. Okay, fair enough. That's how he feels about it. For me, I thought he would do butlins and pontins really well. And these are well-paid jobs. That was only my personal opinion, and I'd mentioned to it. And sometimes you can say that, and someone can be offended, even though you didn't mean to offend them. You see what I mean? It's like when I say to people about the songs that they sing at karaoke. Really, you know, you should be doing. There is a singer that I know, right, who is a rock singer, and this particular person, who I won't name, sometimes does dance, not this bloke I was telling you about. Sometimes they do a dance number and it doesn't quite work. But when they do the rock singing, something like Tina Turner or Queen or something like that, that works for them. But they think they should be doing that, and perhaps it's just personal preference. I don't know. But we had Alan J, and he done really well. A great singer. The only thing is, it wasn't very busy. Bank holidays, we do tend to suffer at King's Cross, especially if the train station is open and all that. Adrian, mile. Oh, is it a mile machine? Is it a milli? Mile? I know the one you mean. I never got mile. Mil? M-I-L-E, isn't it? I'm not quite sure how you say it, but I know the machines. Yes, very good. On the same par as with Posh, they are, aren't they? That's right. So came back, went to church yesterday, played the organ, had a good laugh with Father David last night, yesterday afternoon, I must say. After the church, I went and had a cup of tea. That went okay last night. I think I might have hit a couple of bum notes yesterday, but I don't think anyone noticed, only me. And as I say, there's a new video up now, me doing All People That on Earth Do Dwell. If you want to find that, Chris Reardon UK, facebook.com/Chris Reardon UK. Okay, that's where it is, just about 3 posts below this. And I was having a laugh with Father David, and we got into the subject of karaoke And I said, sometimes, you can be doing karaoke and there'll be this group of girls in there, plus the ex-boyfriend who's of one of them who's sitting with his friends. And after the girls have had a few drinks, they always think it's quite funny to come up, grab a microphone and start singing I Will Survive, after finishing with this boyfriend. And they will literally go up with the radio mic up to the boy's face and sing right in his face. It's not very pleasant, really. And they all think it's funny and it's very embarrassing for the boy. But there you go. It's one of those things that young people do. And then it got onto this subject of I Will Survive. And I said to Father, maybe you should try that one here. And he sort of laughed. We'd been sitting there having a conversation for about 10. I think he's a wonderful person. I'd like to be his friend. I'd like to be a close friend to Father David, really. I think he's a great... And we get on so well. We really do. And I said, maybe you should do that one. He said, we could change the words. I said, yes. I said, why don't you go the whole hog? Let's have the mirror ball dropping down from the ceiling and everything. And at that point, he got up and he almost wet himself. He was laughing so much and he had to walk off. And as he walked off, I said, whatever you do, don't tell the bishop. At first I was afraid, I was petrified. Ian, how long have you been doing your show now? I think I first found you doing a podcast 2008. I think it's coming on 14 or 15 years now we've been doing this show. You're quite right, it started as audio only. The audio only shows are no longer available, I'm afraid. I closed the podcast account. Because we stopped doing audio only and moved over to the video, which was, as most of you know, which was a complete accident. Going to video, it was an accident. Someone suggested once I stick a webcam in. This was before we got high definition. It was all a bit blocky and all that. But it was just someone suggested put a webcam in, and I did, and it stayed, really. And then I did audio and video for some while, and eventually I dropped the audio completely, simply because it was just extra work. I thought, hang on a minute, you're doing two lots here. Just do one or the other. So I went with this and carried on doing it. What still motivates you? I just like talking to people, really, Ian. I like talking people. I want people to perhaps have a little bit of fun in their lives. Sometimes we do touch on serious things now and again, stuff to make people think. Might have a little chat about the environment or something like that, or some science story. But generally, it's all about having a little bit of fun, really. That's why I do it. That's why I do it. Thank you for saying that it was entertaining. All right. Good. So that was yesterday. Came back here, had my dinner, cut the grass at the front of the house, which is doing very well. We've got a hedgehog living in sort of the communal area there, so you have to be a bit careful with the lawnmower. The council seem to have stopped cutting the grass in the communal area. It's like a bit of grass, and then it's like a sort of mini forest in between all the houses, which is really, I love it here. I love the surroundings of the trees here. Over the years, you see, I've put bushes and things around my fence outside, and it's all grown up very high now. I mean, you couldn't get to my fence. It would be very, very difficult to get into my back garden, sort of through the fence, because everything's grown up around there, brambles and bushes and all sorts of stuff. And then last night, I did the pub a favour. They needed someone to kind of work the sound and lights for the cabaret last night, which was a talent show, basically. It was a talent show called Drag Idol. Not limited to anyone that wants to be a drag queen, but that is the majority of the people who go in for it. And it was Drag Idol, and it was our pub final of Drag Idol. So the four of them there, and one won. And that was it. And it was going all right until someone dropped my microphone, and it died. And that was the end of the microphone. So that's now in an envelope waiting to... I can't post it today because we've got we've got a bank holiday, so the post offices aren't open. So I'll probably take it up north with me and just take it to the post office there, because my sister's always in the post office, and send that off, and hopefully that'll come back within a couple of weeks. But a really good night, a very enjoyable night to be pushing the buttons for people, and some of them are so nervous, bless them. And I go upstairs before they go on, and I try and look, just have a good time, don't worry about anyone. And there was some of them were. One of them got through to the semi-finals or whatever it is. I can't remember, which is in a few weeks' time. That's in June. When is it now? Got it written down here, I think. No, I haven't. I think it was the 16th, something like maybe the 18th of June. It is at Central Station. So they've asked me to do that as well. As a favour, which I'm happy to do. They give me meals as well. They give me 3 nights' work a week. I don't need any more money or anything like that. So 18th of June, I think that's the semi-final. That's the national semi-final, I believe. So they'll be coming from all over the country to see that one, I would assume. So that will be a very, very busy night. I'll be doing that as well. So hopefully that radio mic will be back before then. I do have another radio mic, fortunately, which I may or may not use tonight. I think we'll probably go over to lead microphones tonight. Because if the other one breaks, then I won't have anything to use with the cabaret. I've always got a backup, you see, so probably we'll go back over to lead mics tonight. But that's all right. They're actually very good quality. SM38s, as you know, Ian, very good quality. Good morning to Weird City Citizen. Very, very late today, dear. LaBelle says you're intelligent and cute. I'm not. Come on, LaBelle. Who are you trying to kid, darling? I tell you what, one day I'm going to turn up at one of your places in New York. I'll just turn up. I'll just turn up at one of your places in New York, and I'll be sitting there right at the front, cussing you. Not cussing, I beg your pardon, cheering you. I will sit at the front cheering you. But I won't be giving any tips. I don't do that. Actually, I'm a very good tipper. I am a very good tipper. If someone does a good service to me, like in a restaurant or something like that, I don't just give them 10%. No, if you've looked after me, I do give a good tip. I just got my air conditioning on this morning. It's so hot in here. Look at that. God, I'll have to open the window in a minute. Weird City says, what an epic jacket. Put the bird jacket to shame. LaBelle, stop putting too much food on the plate. That's my problem. It is. I'm a bit fat at the moment. I haven't weighed. I meant to weigh myself this morning, funnily enough. I'm a bit fat at the moment. So that was last night. The nice thing about it was people accepted the winner last night. Now, in this modern world that we live in, for some reason, people no longer just accept the winner, especially if they've lost. And they go on and, years ago, when I was growing up and later on throughout my teens, my 20s, even my 30s, I think in my 40s, I started noticing how people, shall we say, no longer accepted the winner. Whereas you have any sort of competition, whether it be a little competition in the pub, like for us last night, or a general election or something like that, people don't accept the winner. It always used to be you just went with the majority, and if you lost, oh well, we've lost, maybe next time. Maybe we'll win next time. Not anymore. They shout and they scream and they moan. This didn't happen last night. The winner won and it was accepted by everyone. No one came up to me and, oh, I don't know about that. So-and-so should have won or so-and-so should have. And it's really bad eggs, I think. Bad eggs to keep moaning the fact that they haven't won. And we've seen this with the whole Brexit thing, people moaning and whinging. You lost. That's it. That's just how it is. A general election, maybe the party, for me, maybe the party at the next general election might not be the one that I want. But they will get in and, oh well, another 4 years, maybe it'll change then. But no. A lot of people don't do that. They just online, and some of them are absolutely vile. Vile. Some of the stuff said about Theresa May on the Facebook, it gets you to the point of wanting to block or delete people, from your group, doesn't it? They are absolutely vile. And it's been said by many people before, sometimes if you've got nothing nice to say, it's best to say Nothing. There were some absolutely vile comments. And the same thing happened when Margaret Thatcher died. That was the worst one. Oh, Margaret Thatcher death parties celebrating the fact that someone had died. Awful people. Ghastly, awful people that are like that. I think it's dreadful how people are. A lot of people now. You only got to watch it in the street. No one cares. But it's the losers, and they lose, and they moan, and they whinge, and they shout, and they scream. And you're thinking, just shut up, we're not interested. Adrian, did you lose the competition because the jacket you had to wear, I think you're moaning about it now? No, I don't go in for competitions. I can't be bothered. Can't be bothered. Good news in New York. They're getting rid of plastic bags there as well. This is starting to pick up now, this whole plastic thing, isn't it? Getting rid of plastic. It's just a shame, LaBelle, and I'm sure you'll agree with me. It's just a shame it's taken so long. It really is. We're about to ban plastic straws, but are you going to any supermarket? You see the stacks and the stacks of bottles of water waiting to be sold, and straws are just a small thing, aren't they? Whereas you've got the endless stacks of bottles of water in shops and things like that. But I guess, eventually it will pick up. Is it too late? What, to save the planet? I think probably. Yeah, I think it's probably too late. Not if we was to all stop using plastic, using cars, eating a lot of meat. If we were to stop that now, then maybe we can save the planet. But we won't. We won't, will we? I mean, how much in this room is plastic? You know what I mean? Look at this phone. One little phone full of poisonous metals and plastics and bits and pieces in there. I don't think we can... I think we can slow it down a bit, but I don't think we can stop ourselves destroying the earth now. I think it's a bit too late. Does that mean we should give up trying? Absolutely not. No. I remember when plastic first came out, there used to be these TV programmes on BBC Two Colour about how plastic had been invented and how it's going to revolutionise the world. We never thought that in 70, 80, 90, 100, in 40, 50 years' time, it would become so much of a problem, did we really? But that's hindsight, isn't it? Ian, Trump 1 is going to be one of the best presidents ever, and that's from a Brit living here. UK media is so negative about him. Another case of fake news. It's fake news. That's what it is. Fake news. Go away. I remember when he was in a press conference, actually, Mr. Trump, and he had a question, and hello, it's John Smith here, BBC News, and I saw him say to his mate, "Oh, here we go. This'll be a good one. Watch this." Oh dear. Alrighty, let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls. Happy birthday. I'll do yesterday's as well because we weren't here yesterday. Happy birthday on this Monday, the 27th of May, 2019 to John Wright, 42 years old today, West Ham supporter. Good morning, John. Happy birthday to John Wright. Sean Leons today is 42 years old. Good morning, Sean. I think it's Leons or Lions, one of the two. Good morning, Sean. Happy birthday today to Tony Airy. 59 years old. He does a regular radio show down south in Sussex. Happy birthday to you, Tony. Dean Voltaggio is 34 today, computer expert. Good morning, Dean. Happy birthday. Tom Lodge today, 60 years old. Good morning, Tom. All right. James Wadilove is 37 years old on this Monday, the 27th of May, 2019. And yesterday's birthdays, boys and girls, Sunday yesterday. So that's Sunday, the 26th of May for Barbara Garcia. Morning, Barbara. Happy birthday for yesterday. Mark Anthony, that's my window cleaner. He been on holiday recently to Australia and he broke something. I think it was his arm or his leg. But happy birthday for you yesterday, Mark. I saw the pictures. Looks like you had a nice time. Happy birthday. Krisztian Carpati. Good morning, Krisztian. Happy birthday to you for yesterday. Stephen John's birthday yesterday, as was Shirley Isabel Wayne. Morning. 59 years old yesterday. Ray Davis. Good morning, Ray. 69 years old yesterday. David James is 55 years old yesterday. Tache David, his birthday yesterday. Nikki Dunn, And finally, Jordan, JJ, James. They are all the birthdays for today and yesterday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. I hope Joanna, you're still with me there. I'd hate you to miss any of my singing. Weird City says, CNN, it's fake news, fake news. I love it. Alrighty, it's Monday night tonight. Bank holiday Monday, normal Monday. It's all the same, gang, because we're still doing the karaoke. It's Central Station Bar tonight in King's Cross from 7:30. There's the address. 37 Wharfdale Road, London, King's Cross. It's a great night. We like to have a bit of a laugh, boys and girls. Come down and sing. If you can't sing, doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's all about having a go. So join us tonight for Central Station Karaoke in Wharfdale Road, Monday from 7:30, right the road through till 11 o'clock. Have a lovely day. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye now.